www.cpaforthepeople.com or call at area code 630-244-7893. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Taking Care of Business with Freddy Fixit Santori as they bring the power of AMP2.TV video format to the radio. Today's show will have interviews and concepts that bring you, the public, closer to how real radio and television work hand in hand to bring the best platform to sell your business. Tune in on the WWNNradio.com website or follow AMP on AMP2.TV website to see radio.
And good evening, Boca. That was strange. I was looking at the TV screen. I didn't see I was on. This is Freddy Fixit Santori tonight on Solo. And I want to thank you for coming on and watching and hearing us on NN 1470. We just had a full night and afternoon of shows. And the beat goes on when it comes to video and radio at the same time. So you can hear and see radio, which is a strange point to bring forward. But we have taken on new shows. I wanted to go over that. End of the year, I talk a little bit about how gifted and lucky we have been with the shows that we brought on. We have a new show coming on Tuesdays, a sports show. Our first one, we had it last Tuesday from the other studio. So it's been great. But let's take care of some homework first. Our show tonight is brought by AM2.TV, 866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422. And also, you can watch us tonight on the NN 1470 AM radio network. There's a television button there. You can hit that to watch us. We had Ask the Experts today with Steve and Renee. We had Morris Life on here. We had a few companies. We had We Are the People with Tracy Marks here. We had Hallie Elise tonight. Elise November. Full lineup. All of that can be watched on their websites or the WNN 1470 website. Again, this is a show brought to you where you can put video to radio, and you can talk about how your business can grow using visual aids. It could be used from either the radio station or their new affiliation now at the studio on 18th Street, where we have a sort of a TV set. We have 3 sets there for you to use. So it's all good. It's all different. It's the idea that you know your business better than anybody else, and to go on the internet and to talk about what it is your product is that you're trying to sell, or your services, or your interviews. We Are the People tonight had Tracy Marks on there with a gentleman that helps you straighten out your student loans, forgiveness program, and what have you. Tremendous information tonight. Ask the Experts tonight had Taxation Solutions, and they talked about how you can work for a company doing payroll taxes and the company never paid, and they hold you liable. Right? They just picked up a client for $2 million that he's being asked by the government to pay, and they're going in there to represent him. So all of these shows using video art, using radio art to get their message out there, their services, it's all a good thing. And again, if you want to be part of the family, AMP is looking to grow next year. We're looking to sign new shows. AMP's number is 866-224-5422. Just want to thank Linda Harmon. She's doing the boards tonight. Got Ken behind the glass. Our phone number here is 888-565-1470 is the number if you want to call in, if you want information on any of the shows, any of the information we have. Again, you can go to the websites of the show, or you can go on the WNN 1470 website to look at the shows. Tuesday night's lineup, we have Gift of Life with Greg, and we have Caregiver Reality, 2 of our older shows dealing with raising money for bone marrow transplants, and Caregiver Reality talks about seniors and Alzheimer's, things of that nature. Number 1, number 2 in the ratings on our docket. And then now we've just signed Jeff Van Treese, who's doing Talk Legal, and we have a new show, a sports show with First and Goal with Greg and Freddy J, my son. And they're doing very well. So they'll be on tomorrow from 6:30 to 7:30. Just sorry to hear that most of the picks that Greg and Freddie talked about were wrong, but that's okay. It was a tough day in the NFL, so we're doing a little sports. We're looking to expand in the comedy. We're looking to expand into other shows that are going to be played out next year to bring you a full gamut of different variations of shows. We got a real estate show with Gary. Hopefully, it's going to be done in a couple of weeks. So, again, it's all about enhancing video with the radio. In our opening, it says you can actually see radio, which is a strange thing to say, but it is working. It is making companies more visual in the commercial world. So, again, the number here, 888-565-1470. If you have any calls, don't worry, you can call in, ask any question. Availability is 7 days a week that we have here at the Beasley Radio Group. And talking about Beasley, we're also up in Atlanta. Again, talking about the shows that we've done this year. We're in Atlanta, which has 2 stations up there, 860 Love and 1100. That's their international. We're up there as well doing our thing, and they're doing very well up in Atlanta. And then we do the WHSR 980 international radio station here at Beasley, which is Leslie Jock, taking care of business on the international circuit. We just signed a new show there tonight as well. Again, all of this stuff is coming to you because in the radio business, everybody's looking now for an angle to their business and services. They want to be better. They want to provide a better angle for you to look at their products. WHSR 980 is Leslie Jock. He has shows like a morning reality show that he does with us, talking about how to improve your relationship in the Haitian community and the families. He's bringing on attorneys. He's bringing on all sorts of services on there. He has something called The Bridge on Friday nights with his son, which is English and Haitian languages. And then he does his Sunday extravaganza show, which is the #1 show being watched on all of AMP's networks. It's approaching millions in viewership minutes. Thousands in viewership in itself, and this is contained at the international level mark. So, with that being said, there's a lot of good stuff going on with AMP2 TV. We had a fantastic year. We want to thank Beasley for giving us the opportunity to do that. There are some other radio stations that we're working with as well, and there are some other radio stations that we're working with around the country: Boston, Chicago, Colorado, and Texas, to name a few. And all of this is the technology, the availability of being able to put our show on the air, putting your show on the air, giving you the information you need, and also for you to be able to see what it is that the businessman is trying to sell you. And with that being said, it means that if you have the opportunity to visualize what it is they're trying to explain to you, it makes it a little bit easier to comprehend, makes it a little bit more fascinating to watch and listen. So all of that is on the docket for next year. We're looking for growth and expansion. We also have Alan Knight that does his show Saturdays, I understand, 5 o'clock. We don't have cameras in there yet. We're working with Alan to bring that. And again, different types of shows. They don't all have to be educational. They don't have to provide services. Sometimes they just provide humor. And it depends on what the sponsors are looking for. Just viewership. Sometimes they're looking just for viewership so that they could put their commercials on your show. So another angle to doing what we do is bringing in sponsors to enjoy what we do, and to provide an opportunity for them to put their shows on the air because it's being viewed, listened, and watched on the air. So again, 888-565-1470 is the number here. You can reach AMP at 866-224-5422. I'm sure Linda Hartman's going to love seeing that because it reminds her that I should be putting the phone number more on the air. So it takes care of that. We have coming up again some other shows. I know that on Mondays and Fridays we have Steve and Renee that do Ask the Experts. And you can reach them if you want to put your show on the air. They have a dynamic package, which is a little bit different than anybody else that we do. And they give you the opportunity to come on and do one show a month for 3-month contract. Sometimes a business person doesn't have the time to spend in studio, but you can spend one afternoon It can be pre-taped or it could be live, and you get interviewed and you display your goods, and they ask the questions that you need to ask, and it helps them tremendously. It helps you, the business owner, tremendously. Gives you the opportunity to be in the NDI. They do Prime Drive, which is from 3 to 6 o'clock. They're on 4 to 5. And there are some other shows that we do Prime Drive, where the attention span is larger because it's during the day. And then we have smaller packages at night. You could do half hour and hours on our station as well. And we have a station for every budget. So it all depends on what you're trying to achieve, the studio audience that you're trying to reach out for. And again, we have also the studio on 18th Street that allows you to do a television set as opposed to just radio. It's pumped into the radio station, and there's chairs there so you can bring in a studio audience. If you want to do something in the learning capacity where you want to teach segments and things of that nature, you're allowed to go in there. You bring a studio audience with you, and they become part of your show. And all this is captured on video. It's put on your website, on the NN website, and at the same time, it's pumped into the radio station. So all good stuff, all different angles. We help you with the writing of the shows. We help you with putting it together. We do what they call the elements with you. We don't just throw you out there and says, okay, good luck, we'll see you next month. That's not the way it works. We guide you through the process. We show you the process. It's a fantastic format. Been working on this for many years. You've seen Gio on the air with me who helped put this together. But it works. It's a dynamic way of spending hard-earned money to advertise your business. And you know what they say, if you don't advertise your business, you're not going to grow. And it gives you a different in. So supposedly you have a business that it deals with other states, not just Florida. This gives you another way of doing that. All of the material that is captured can be used on television. We've done Comcast Productions, on ION and other stations, ESPN. All of the productions, once they're captured, you can encode them to be put on television. So you can get one production with multiple levels of use, which is important. If you look at how much television costs today to produce your segment, it stops a lot of people from doing that, but you can. This allows you to do it. We have a station up in West Palm Beach where the gentleman who is being filmed is using it on his ESPN commercials. And now he's getting ready to do a show on ION. So that being said, there is no reason that you, the business owner, whether you're 20 years in the business or 1 year in the business, because if you're doing advertisement, this becomes an alternative to that. We can do remotes as well, or we can go to your business and do your show from there. You can actually even do your show via tape. If you can't make it that day, you can do it that. It depends. It all depends on what you're looking to achieve. If you want live studio audience, you can do that. If you want tape, you can do that as well. So it's a project. It's a platform that does multiple levels. It does a lot of good stuff. And I think that's enough housekeeping. But what we're going to do is, Ken, why don't we take a break? Take a break here. We'll be back. Again, 866-224. I'm sorry, 888-565-1470 is the number. Give us a call if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the other side.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV.
Hello, my name is Taylor Ash, and I am the owner of Calypso Salt and Soap. Each batch is handcrafted by me, and when I started, I really didn't want to make just ordinary looking soap. I'm pretty artistic by nature, so I wanted my soaps to reflect me and be artistic looking as well. In my soaps, I use all natural colors and oxides as well as micas, and that creates the beautiful colors and effect in each batch. Each batch is completely unique and no two batches are alike. My soaps each have special recipes of olive, coconut, cocoa butter, shea butter, mango butter, castor oil, and a few others that make each bar creamy, thick with bubbles, and they don't get mushy in water. This makes for a really good hard bar that's long lasting. Along with all these oils, I've added essential oils, which make them very good for you too. Things like lavender or lemongrass, even things like activated charcoal added to the bars, very good for your skin. I've tried my hand at Renaissance fairs here in Florida and the outcome was amazing. People loved my product.
Don't forget to come out to the Florida Renaissance Festival at Quiet Waters Park on Powerline, February 7th through March 15th. And meet Taylor Ash in person, surrounded by all of her beautiful soaps. That's February 7th through March 15th. You are listening and watching Taking Care of Business, powered by amp2.tv, as your host brings you new concepts using radio and TV together, forming a powerful platform for business people in all areas. You have a question or comment? Call in 888-565-1470, and our host will provide ideas to bring your business to life. Now, back to the show.
And we're back. Okay. A couple of things that I wanted to go over. We have a studio on 18th and Powerline. Now, the nice thing about 18th and Powerline, besides having shows being broadcast there, is that it gives you flexibility. And what do I mean by that? You know, the radio station, when you come down to the radio station, they have chairs, they have mics, everything's nice. We got the cameras in here, you got the lights. And it's a great production to do, to talk, speak your mind, whether it's Ferguson, football, baseball, doesn't matter. You speak your mind on the air, or if you're selling your services. And it's a great medium for that. It's a closed quarter, so you're going to be sitting. And we've done these productions for years here where people have come in and we've had a live band here, a two-person band. We've put up art. We've had bikinis. We've had all sorts of things. But it was very cramped, very small. But the opportunity to do all of that, to be visual in a radio room, we cleverly put it together using equipment. We shrunk it so that it's not in the way of the host or their guests or anything else. And it's not as intimidating as anything else. Then on 18th Street and Powerline, a couple of weeks ago, we decided to open up a new platform where we have the show sent into the radio station, so that stays the same. The sound quality is perfect, so that stays the same. But at the station, there's 3,800 square feet at the studio. And in there, you have plenty of room to do one of three sets. You can do a sit-down set, you could do a sofa set, or you could do a high-top chair set, depending on what you're looking for. And any set. We have a doctor that's asked us, we could bring in a table where a person can lay down and they're going to show some points on camera and things of that nature. So anything can be put together at the new location. And on there, some of the hosts have become more clever. And what they're doing is that they're bringing in their own studio audiences, or they share it. And what that allows people to do is, while you're doing seminars or teaching or holistic center or whatever it is that you're doing, it gives the studio audience an opportunity to become part of the show. And that's a change, because in Radio Land, you don't have anybody here in studio. And it's not true if you don't go out and do a remote. I understand that you have people in front of you. So it becomes a remote, so to speak. And at the same time, people can call in, they can write in, they can participate, they can ask questions at the audience. Lots of different things happen. Because some of the people that you invite, and they bring a friend that you don't know, and you begin to get a gathering and a following, and it becomes bigger and bigger. And the reason I say that is because we've had a couple of them last week, and they have brought more guests to the set now. And these people are considering buying into the program and see how it works for them. And again, as you bring in more and more people into the set, they begin to learn about other services that other hosts bring. And then outside of the 18th Street studio, we have another, a huge room right outside of it, right next door to it, where you can put the vendors that come in that sponsor your show. So you have the shows going on, and then next to that you have a vendor set where vendors can put up a kiosk, they can put up a table, they can put up whatever they want to talk to the guests, to the studio audience when they come out of the show, and they can sell their goods there as well. And what's happening is that we are on the verge now of bringing in an artist who's going to bring in and use the walls and some of the floor to bring in art and sculptures and things of that nature. And she's going to host shows at the studio, which are going to be aired into the radio station as well. And what she wants to do is she wants to show how painters get their experience or their motivation or their mojo, to speak. She wants to interview them. And these are artists that are well-known and not so well-known. These are artists from all over the world. And then the pieces will be hanging on the wall. We got a couple of ideas of what to do next door, because after the set is done, after the shoot is done, it's been aired, they're going to go next door and they're going to demonstrate and talk about the art that's on the wall. Everything's for sale. They're going to talk about how the artists came about. So it brings in other vendors to the deal, people who do framing. Trucking people have gotten involved. Anybody that deals with an artist and getting his paintings from point A to point B now want to participate in the show that she's doing because they see that it gathers huge numbers. Now, Art Basel right now is going on in Miami. And I used to be a member of Art Basel. For 5 years I did that. Tremendous amount of people go through Art Basel. I mean, the numbers are enormous. And they hold it for a week. It takes a whole year to plan. And a lot of people supposedly buy and trade and, they're in the art world. They do their thing. And, I came up with an idea called Boca Basel, which we want to do next year. But it's the same principle where people look at art, if you have enough room, and then we're going to highlight it with shows for radio and TV. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the art world. And a lot of people love the idea. They've come forward and they want to participate. They want to do sketches and how to paint, how to show painting, how paints are done and in a classroom setting and what it means. And we've been contacted by FAU's art department as well, and they want to get involved. So again, it's mushroomed out into a huge experience simply because we gave somebody the idea that art is visual. And if you control your environment and you have enough room, you can do a lot of things with the artists. So you buy the art understanding somewhat of what the artist was trying to envision. That may be something that you want to spend money on. Really simple. They've also she has a new project that she's developing where she's putting the art on shirts. And I thought that was really cool. I'm ready to buy some of those designs because they look really nice. Some of the artwork is fantastic. And then they have somebody, and I remember seeing this a few years ago in Puerto Rico, where they'll take a picture and they'll do a design, either an animal, a clown, or something on the shirt as well. So they're working on that. But the bottom line is the same, all visual. It's all used to enhance the study that they're doing, the things that they do. And it's bringing a whole different meaning to advertising in their business. And nobody knows your business better than you. A lot of people say, I don't want to dedicate the time. I don't have the time. But when you have a business, you have to make the time. And if you can't make it out live on your shows, then you can tape them. And you can still put in the phone numbers for them to call you. And you answer the phone, though it's not a live show. You can take the phone calls. There is no reason in the world not to enhance your business. If you look at your dollars that you're spending marketing your company and what you're getting in return, and you're really honest, maybe you want to give something else a chance. Maybe you want to think about enhancing your dollar to go in 3 or 4 different ways as opposed to just going in one way. And we offer we offer, commercials just like anybody else, any PR firm, things of that nature. A lot of people ask me, how do you drive people to websites? How is it that people know about you? Well, that's the name of the game in any business. If you open up a shoe store in the middle of the street, how does anybody know you're there? Because they see the shoe store. How do you drive business to your shoe store? You got to have product. You got to have you have to have a different look to it. Maybe the sign has to be different. Maybe it has to be in the right place at the right time. People call that being lucky. Well, the more you expose the shoe store, the more you talk about it, the bigger the things that happen, the better off the shoe store is going to be. If you don't do that and you sit there and wait for them to come through the door, it could be that it's not going to happen. And the next thing you know, you'll be a statistic where 1 in 10 businesses or 9 in 10 businesses fail their first 3 years because you're not advertising correctly. You're not putting the money where it belongs. And everybody tells me the same thing. I don't have the budget. I don't have the time. You got to make the time, and you got to be creative. And a business owner has to be creative. Okay, if you go to am2.tv, we just launched our new website in there, which we're going to be enhancing shows on there during the day so that we can bring more businesses during the day. And what does that mean? It means that at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, we're going to have business owner A talk about his business and do a show and wrap maybe a show that he's doing at the radio station or his store or something. And from 10 to 11, we're going to have a second business owner, and on and on and on. And it could be teachers. It could be anybody teaching, different things. It doesn't really matter. But the bottom line is that you want to be able for people to see you. Given the opportunity to show who you are and what you do. Very important. And I think that sums it up. And that I wanted to say that tonight because I know that we're bringing new shows again starting tomorrow. We go on the air from 4 to 7:30, WNN Radio, 1470radio.com. Check it out. Come on down, take a tour. Let me know. 866-224-5422. Come on down. Let me show you what the next experience in advertisement is all about. Want to thank Linda for doing the board tonight. Want to thank her for helping me out this year. She's been a tremendous help learning the system. I want to thank Gio up in Orlando for listening in. Ken is behind the glass. And we'll see you next week. Enjoy the week. Be safe. And remember, you got to advertise to make it happen. And we'll talk to you soon.
You have been listening to Taking Care of Business, powered by amp2.tv. You can reach amp2.tv by calling 866-224-5422 and join the amp2.tv radio TV network. We give you all the tools you need to have your own show, both on radio and TV, and bring new energy and ideas to the business you're trying to promote. If you want to be a leader in new concepts and make your business #1 in the area, amp2.tv has the platforms to get you there. 866-224-5422 is the number to get you started. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.